celebration today. My name is GENAO. Thank you. Okay. And I'm an elementary school teacher at Success Academy, Bronx 2.
They love you, huh? And my name is Alante Johnson. I am a 7th grade teacher at King's Collegiate Charter School of Uncommon Schools in Brooklyn. So today we're excited to have a chance to moderate a panel discussion with educators and advocates who are fighting for change inside and beyond their classrooms. But first we want to take a second to think about why we're here. We hope that our panelists provide us with a thought-provoking conversation that challenges us to think about our role and what else we can do in order to fight for educational equality.
And second, we all know the barriers to equality that our schools and our scholars are facing every single day. Whether it's poverty, institutionalized racism, political obstructionism, and apathy. All of these things are present in the work we do on a daily basis. Today, we want to explore those issues together. But we also want to talk about our responsibility to break down these barriers through our work as teachers. If we are truly going to eliminate the achievement gap in this city, and if we're going to reach the goal of serving 200,000 students by 2020, then we all need to challenge ourselves to do more.
So today our panelists will be answering questions that were submitted by teachers just like you from New York City. So before we begin, let's introduce our panelists. Our first panelist is DERREL, the Executive Vice President of 50CAN and the Executive Director of NICAN. In addition to his roles with NICAN and 50CAN, DERREL serves on several local boards dedicated to putting the needs of students and families first, including EdBuild, the Partnership for Educational Justice, NACSA, Success Academy Charter Schools, and the Parent Coalition for Excellent Education. Give a round of applause.
Our next panelist is Sharif Al-Mekki, the principal of Mastery Charter School's Shoemaker campus in Philadelphia. Previously, Sharif was a teacher for 7 years, and before that, he was a social worker and a counselor. Our third panelist is SHABAZZ. The principal of Success Academy, Harlem West. KHARI is a native of Brooklyn and Long Island and previously worked in New York City public schools.
And our final panelist, last but not least, is BRANDI, the founding principal of Kemp Star Harlem College Prep Elementary School. She has also served as kindergarten grade team chair and dean of teaching and learning at Kemp Academy Elementary in the Bronx, and was previously a kindergarten and 2nd grade teacher with Achievement First in Connecticut. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you again for being here, and as a reminder, all of these questions were submitted in advance by teachers, many of whom are right here. Our first question is for you, BRANDI. How can we, charter school teachers, help children stuck at failing schools?
I think that's a great question to start with. I'm sure that you would all agree with me that our work, first and foremost, starts in the classroom. It's of the utmost importance that we are always persevering and working as hard as we can to improve our craft as teachers. It's also really important to make sure that we're sharing best practices and resources. But what is even more critical is that we are opening ourselves up and availing ourselves to learn from others as well. In thinking about learning from others, I think about one of the teachers at my school, Kyle Morris, who actually happens to be in the audience right now. He's a member of an online community for educators. This community spans the entire nation, and there are teachers on there from all different sectors, and they share resources, they share best practices. And what I know to be true, because I manage him, of course, is that his practice has improved greatly by sharing with others and also taking on those resources himself. I know that this is something that is in line with what KIPP stands for. We are building a culture where we are working better together. And this is hard work, so we're not gonna get there unless we do it together. When I think about hard work, I am reminded of how far we've come serving 100,000 students, and it's gonna be even harder to get to 200,000 students. And so it's really important that in this place at this time, we all recognize that we are the movement. Who is more important than us, the teachers? Who knows your kids better than you? You're in the classroom with your children 8 to 9 hours a day or more. On average, you make up to 1,300 decisions daily that impact student achievement. So who's a better advocate for this movement than everybody that's here today? Your kids trust you, your parents trust you, and your elected officials trust you. And so we are going to continue to stand with our families as we did on September 28th. We're gonna stand in front of elected officials in this city. We're gonna take it to Albany, and we are going to not only let our kids see us doing awesome things inside of the classroom, but we're gonna show them how hard we're working on their behalf outside of the classroom, because they are always watching us. And so in doing all of those things, we are ensuring that there are more kids in NYC that are going to have access to an incredible school where kids are challenged, they learn, and they have fun every single day.
Our next question is for Mr. Bradford. If charter schools across New York City are getting fantastic results and closing the achievement gap, why do we have so many local politicians who remain anti-charter?
So I just want to say something really quickly. A building filled with kids is nothing until it has amazing. Can you hear it now? There we go. Right. So look, you can fill a building with a whole bunch of kids, and that building is nothing until you fill it with amazing teachers. So before I say anything else, if I can make all y'all clap for all y'all, you need to do it. All right, so every single person here, clap for the person next to you. Because we can't do anything without all of you making it happen every day in the class. So that's the first thing. The second thing to answer your question is like, look, make no mistake about it. How's that? Make no mistake about it.
I'm assuming that.
Look, when you educate somebody, you give power to somebody who didn't have it, and you allow them to extract it or fight for it from somebody who does have it, right? So when you got a failing schools crisis, you have people who don't have power, who can't hold their elected officials or whomever accountable, right? So part of the reason why electeds fight against what we're doing is because we're taking people from zero to hero. We're taking kids from powerless to powerful, right? And when somebody confronts you with equal power, you don't like that. So that's the first thing. That's the second thing. The third and the last thing is just like, look, they've been doing this longer than we have, right? The traditional district school system, the unions, all the people who are on that, they've been doing this for 200 years. You've been doing it for 25, right? We're getting better at it all the time. It's important that we get better at it all the time. But you can never forget that your efforts are also political efforts, right? They have greater impact than just in the classroom. And that is just as important as you making sure that your kids get a quality education.
Right, so what is your response to those who say more focus and more money needs to be put into fixing the issues in the DOE instead of opening more charters? Now this is a question on everybody's mind. I want to go to Sharif first. Sharif, what do you have to say?
So the first thing I would ask people who say we should wait for DOE to be fixed is how long would they wait for their own children? Would they actually wait 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? The odds are they would not wait at all if it's talking about their own children. And we already know what the weight gain means for our children. The barriers around fixing a massive and broken bureaucratic system are far too high for us to wait. And the weight game is only played on the backs of certain children in our society. So we're really looking at the lens of what will it take in order to get as many children as possible into high-performing public schools, and it's a no-brainer. We need to grow the charter school sector. What happens in New York has ripple effects everywhere else, including down 95 in Philadelphia. So we're looking to you to continue this fight, and we're united down in Philadelphia to continue this because our children will not wait. Weight game is unacceptable when we're talking about our youth.
Our next question is for KHARI. Another question that's been on our minds. Why is it that Mayor Bill de Blasio is standing in the way of charters serving more kids?
I think the answer to that is obvious. Billy D. Mayor de Blasio is in the pockets of the United Federation of Teachers. He has seen the UFT as his political patron for his entire political career, and they write the checks, and he makes sure that he cashes them. And with that money comes favors. It's the reason why Bill de Blasio gave public schools through the PROS program to the UFT. It's the reason why he's against the growth of charter schools. And it's the reason why he continues to fight to make sure he keeps the UFT happy. We need to make sure that we remain active in this fight, regardless of how long it takes, because we want to send the message not just to him, but to anyone after him, that we are here to stay, that the movement belongs to us, that we control the narrative, that we mean business, and we need to mean business for not just the kids we serve, but the kids who don't get an opportunity to enjoy the levels of fantastic instruction that you bring, to be a part of the folks who exactly are doing the work on the ground and who are doing it well. So I encourage you, not only today, but every day you wake up and become rejuvenated, because the business is serious and our children are being left behind.
So we have just one more question. It's a tough question, and I'm not going to make it a gotcha, so Mr. Bradford is coming to you. We cannot end this panel discussion without talking about or getting your thoughts on the NAACP's decision to put a moratorium on charter schools.
Boo, yes.
Please tell me how you feel and how we all feel about this decision today.
I know nobody out there will be surprised that I have strong feelings on this. Your girl out there, she's pumping me up all the time. Can you hear me now? There it is. Okay. So two things. The first one is that you got to realize why the NAACP is voting for this moratorium. They have the same problem that Billy D does, right? They get money from the NEA and the AFT, and they have lots of dues-paying members who are black teachers who teach in public schools that aren't charter public schools, right? And so for them, it's just financial, right? I got to go to the person who's giving me money, and I'm willing to sell out all these poor black kids who don't fund me, right? And which one day means that organization is going to be extinct, and that's sad. But there is a good thing about this, I think. The way the press has covered this, for the first time, people understand that, like, if you want to know how a black person feels about charter schools, you got to ask them. If you want to know how black people feel about charter schools, you got to ask them all, right? You don't just ask the NAACP and be like, well, how do black people feel about this? You're going to get the wrong answer. Right? So
right, do it.
Look, I think this is a once great and historic organization, and I find it unfortunate that they are willing to sacrifice the freedom that charters present to families who have so little of it, right? To get these, you know, some silver shekels from Randy and Lily.
It is black on black crime, and you need to know that. And you should approach the NAACP and make sure they hear your voice.
Any of our other panelists have any thoughts that you would like to share?
I wrote about this incessantly on Twitter and on my blog page, and the NAACP has fallen and it can't get up. And we're not going to wait for it to get up, because our students are going to stand up, our teacher leaders are going to stand up, and the communities are standing up. The weight gain does not happen with the leaders of the NAACP. They make sure that their children are tucked away in safe schools, in magnet schools, in private schools, and that they do not have the right to turn to others' families and tell them, you stay and you wait for this 200-year-old system that has been failing black, brown, and poor children forever to get fixed. We're not waiting.
I think that's it. I would definitely like to thank all of our panelists for their thoughtful responses.
And let's have one more round of applause for them.
And to all of you, our awesome teachers, educators, activists, and audience members,
Big ups!
West Side!
remember that you can share your own thoughts, ideas, and continue this conversation with pathtopossible.org and our hashtag pathtopossible on Facebook and Twitter. Now, before we close this panel discussion, I want you to take a moment to reflect, because you know that's what we do. We teach, we ask kids to reflect, and we send them on their way. So I want you to reflect. What else can you do in order to make sure that we're fighting this fight and that we're really standing tall and standing together on this path to possible? What actions do you need to take when you walk away from this space today to ensure that we are truly fighting for education equality for all of our students? When you thought about this, feel free to share those responses with hashtag pathtopossible. And you can also let Mr. Billy D know that you were on the path to possible by texting PATH, P-A-T-H, to 52886 and let him know that we are all on the path to possible. Thank you all.